They call themselves Public Enemy Number One, or P.E.N.I., and investigators warn this group, learning from the mistakes of other white supremacist gangs, are emerging as a public threat. Chris Blackford is here with more. Chris.
And law enforcement authorities believe P.E.N.I., with their roots in the streets, are now positioning themselves as a criminal force inside prison walls. And as we see in this Fox Undercover report, cops say P.E.N.I. violence can already reach from prison yards to neighborhood streets. Investigators say it was ordered from inside prison walls. A prison-based hit. And according to court papers obtained by Fox 11, Donald Mazza is the man who was given the mission to murder. Racial loyalty tattooed on his chest. He is the reputed president of a white supremacist gang called P.E.N.I., or the P.E.N.I. Death Squad. And when this heavy metal door at Wasco State Prison cranked open in April of 1999, inmate Mazza, known as Popeye, was released on parole. Detectives say within 5 hours of his release, Popeye was back in Orange County, seated inside a camper smoking methamphetamine with 2 accomplices and the hit victim, a gang dropout named Billy Ray Austin. According to this felony complaint, Dominic Rizzo, another P.E.N.I. parolee, beat and held Austin as Popeye plunged a knife into him over and over again. Then, Popeye turned to witnesses and said, "Want some too, punk?"
This particular group has a very great potential for violence and are pretty much unpredictable when that violence may occur. Correctional
Officer Wes Harris says, here at the Wasco State Prison, investigators first started noticing P.E.N.I. in 1996. And Fox 11 has learned an interesting chain of events led up to that. It started decades ago with members of the Aryan Brotherhood, or AB, the gang of gangs among white supremacists. Led by convicted killer John Stinson, the AB are locked away in special units at maximum security prisons like this one at Pelican Bay. This white supremacist ex-convict explains it simply.
I don't know if too many ABs walk in the yard because ABs are all locked down and they don't have any physical contact with anybody.
With AB lockdown, that gave rise to the Nazi Lowriders, or NLR, another white supremacist gang that started running the prison yards in the 1990s and calling the shots for white Nazi gangs out in the streets.
They're straight killers. The lowriders are killers. They're like a rattlesnake. You walk across their shaded area and they're just liable to strike you without much of a warning at all.
And without much warning at all. In January of 1999, the NLR was snake bit itself. The Department of Corrections named NLR a prison gang, and its members, like the Aryan Brotherhood, are now locked down in special security cells. And that has opened a prison door for P.E.N.I.
We are getting intelligence that they are stepping up to take the place of the Nazi lowriders from the main line.
And other law enforcement sources tell us Popeye Mazza, Dominic Rizzo, and Devlin Gazoo Stringfellow are all P.E.N.I. shot callers who have formed alliances with bosses in the NLR and the AB. All still embrace their white supremacist philosophy.
100% to the bone. If you ain't white, you ain't right. And that's how it is.
But law enforcement intelligence obtained by Fox 11 says P.E.N.I. are now modeling themselves into a more seasoned prison gang. Their main goal now is to profit from drug sales.
I sold it for $125 an 8-ball. Wow.
Especially methamphetamines.
It's a white man's drug.
Not only out here on the street, but here inside prison walls. In fact, cops say P.E.N.I. wants to increase its control of all criminal activity by white inmates.
They are under directives when they're paroled to start building a cell of members from their area.
This correspondence intercepted by law enforcement talks about P.E.N.I. expansion into Riverside County. The P.E.N.I. letter says, "We're like gods up here." The area, he adds, is ripe for a P.E.N.I. yuppie squad. In Ventura County, police intelligence reveals a P.E.N.I. alliance with the murderous gang Skinhead Dogs. Additionally, State corrections officials have P.E.N.I members in custody from Sacramento, Redding, Los Angeles, Shasta, Kern, and Orange counties. Now, even a younger breed of P.E.N.I like 18-year-old Brian O'Leary are leaving a trail of violence. P.E.N.I tattooed on his neck, Death Squad on his arms, and more P.E.N.I carved on his stomach. O'Leary paired up with young skinhead Anthony Bailey. They attacked an ex-white supremacist in Huntington Beach.
One guy took a knife, stabbed him twice. Another guy took a baseball bat, hit him upside the head.
Officer Gary Faust says O'Leary got 15 years in prison, Bailey 12 years behind bars.
Basically what happened was the victim had talked trash about P.E.N.I.
There is no doubt P.E.N.I, figuratively and literally, have put on white supremacist brass knuckles.
If I sock you with this, you're not giving it up. You guarantee that.
And gang investigators guarantee that P.E.N.I has already moved beyond its neo-Nazi beginnings into organized crime. At the same time, attorneys for reputed P.E.N.I leaders Donald Mazza and Dominic Rizzo say their clients are not guilty of conspiracy to murder charges that they now face in Orange County. And they, quote, look forward to the truth coming out at trial. And that's scheduled to begin early next week. John?
Suppose we can expect an update then. Chris, thanks for that intense look.